Hello guys, this is video podcast about neoliberalism, the idea or just another dual system. Neoliberalism is an economic or political ideology embedded in the mid 20th century based belief the free market in the best mechanism of primary good of the social well-being, either reducing government intervention in the economy, encouraging competition, privacy, public companies. And the opening try to global market's main goal is also emphasize individual freedom, they also sparked debates about its impact, social, innovation, and access to basic service.
Neoliberalism is a current of economic and political thought that gained strength at the end of the 20th century and the purposes that development and social welfare are achieved mainly through the free function of the market. Its differences are that the state should have a limited role focused on ensuring macroeconomic stability, protecting prevent poverty, and facilitating competition, while most of the economic activity should be in the hands of companies and private actors. This approach arises as a response to the economic rise of the 1970s and as a criticism of the model of strong state intervention from the 1980s. Neoliberalism become the dominant ideology in many countries, driven by leaders such as Margaret Thatcher in the United Kingdom and Ronald Reagan in the United States, and led by international organizations such as the IMF and the World Bank. Among its main measures are the privatizations of public companies, the deregulation of the markets, the reduction of social spending, labor flexibility, and the opening to foreign investment. For its critics, this policy led to deepen inequality and weaken social protections for its defenders. They generate economic criticism, growth, and greater individual freedom. Overall, neoliberalism has declined market the contemporary global economic organizations to the point of becoming one of the most influential paradigms and also the most divided of the recent decades. We continue with the analytic heroes.
Well, first to talk about the nervousness, we need to know the reasons. It emerged in the World War II after that because the economy was in crisis, so some countries and economies search a way to prevent the economy. So they adapt. They argue that the government intervention can affect a lot of the people to do their business or get the money. So they promote free market as a solution. This make that with the pass of the time, for example, then like 10 years, then in 1957, there some others economies like Haiti and Friedrich and Milton Friedman make that the liberal ideas make like the standard in some places that makes that then in the 70s makes that the high inflation and the unemployment will reduce some time. So that the intervention of the government will reduce a lot. So then leaders of countries for like Margaret Thatcher and Ronald Reagan in USA embraced reforms, privatization, tax cuts, deregulation, and reducing of social spending. These make that almost all the countries of the world make that the neoliberalism government movement that promote the free market and World Bank, promoting market reforms in developing countries. Then some of these principles of neoliberalism are privatization that consists in state-owned enterprise and services. Then is the regulation that reduce government rules and oversight on economic activities. The free trade, that is one of the most important, is promoting open markets with fair barriers to the movement of goods. Then is the reduction of government spending that make the government also have a lot of intervention in the move of the the goods of the people in their business, then the lower taxes and the emphasis on individual responsibility. That it focused on the individual choice of competition and self-interest as a primary driver of economic and social well-being.
Okay, 5 examples of the neoliberalism in real life. One is privatization. Governments sell public companies like electricity or telecom to private business. 2. Free trade agreements like NAFTA remove tariffs to make international trade easier. 3. Deregulation. Rules on business and banks are reduced to encourage investment. 4. Private services. More people use private schools and hospitals, promoted as more efficient. 5. Gig economy, like apps like Uber or Rappi offer flexible jobs but with few worker protections.
From a critical perspective, neoliberalism has defended social inequality by prioritizing the market over collective welfare. Although it promises efficient and good in practice, it often concentrates wealth in the hands of a few. And the other critics is an economic inequality. The reduction of the role of the state has left many people with adequate access to health, education, and social protection. Economic liberalism benefits large corporations but left works with strength ones and precarious jobs.
No, would any of you like to rebut what Krista just said? She was critiquing neoliberalism. Do any of you agree or disagree?
I also believe that there's it's like a part that is good but also bad. The part that I can say that is good is to make that the people can have their own business to get more money and so they can get more increase in their economic life. But with that, it makes it's like for example, that money can be used in a not bad way, but it's only benefits some people that also they can don't need a lot of money that other people that not. So that makes that is more economic.
Yeah, for example, like let's say the United States, like there are a bunch of billionaires, and something a lot of people say is that ethical billionaires do not exist, and that's true because at this point they are just hoarding that wealth when they don't actually need it. For example, Taylor Swift is a billionaire, but she doesn't have to be. She doesn't need all those billions. She could give them to charity. For example, Dolly Parton, who is another singer, also has the potential to be a billionaire, but the reason that she's not is because she keeps giving to charity a lot of her earnings. And it's not like she's living in poverty because of that. She's still living very well, but not hoarding that amount of money.
Yeah, because it includes a lot of ethic that people have. Like you said, that people that have more money than billionaires doesn't share their money and like that. So yes, it's more inequality and not fair.
Yeah, the neoliberal sees the market has the main solution, but there are problems such as poverty or climate change that require instead inversion.
Because a lot of companies
Yeah.
they often prefer profit over helping others.
Yes, too much works. It can lead to low wealth or laboral exploitation.
That means some people that have this work and they try to get more money and need to work harder to get their livelihoods. But then you can see people that doesn't work a lot, but because there's like family of them that have money because they do something like that doesn't make for a lot of people.
Yes, companies focus on profit, not to public good.
In conclusion, neoliberalism is best understood as a political and economic project that places the field in markets as the primary agents of prosperity and social organizations, emerging in the late 20th century as a response to economic instability and perceived inefficiencies of state-centered models. Its area the society thrive when government intervention is limited, regulation is reduced, and private enterprise is allowed to operate freely, capably such as a privatization, deregulation, trade liberalization, and reduce public spending, and to increase efficiency, stimulate investment, and expand individuals' economic choice. However, liberalism has also generated intense debate, supported credit with the first fostering growth, innovation, and global economic integrations. Critics counter that use often dispense inequality, weakens labor protections, and reduce the government's ability to provide essential social services. Over time, these tensions have replayed political discourse worldwide, prompting call for reforms to alternatives that balance market freedom with social equality. In this sense, neoliberalism remains influential not only of the policies it promotes, but for the questions it raises about the roles of the states, the power of markets, and the kind of economic future societies wish to propose.
Now, if you were to ask us, is neoliberalism bad or is it good for society? Now, something I thoroughly believe is that nothing is absolutely bad or absolutely good. However, what we can do is look at where neoliberalism has taken us so far. Yes, we are able to innovate without any government control. However, the wealth gap is bigger than it has ever been before. Science and technology keep advancing, but many communities cannot even afford basic needs. Truly, whether neoliberalism is good or bad is in the eye of the beholder, much like anything else. If we asked big companies, they would argue it's good, but those who get the short end of that stick would say it's bad. Nonetheless, the unspoken slogan of neoliberalism always ends up being profit over people. So is neoliberalism bad? It really depends on which tax bracket you are in. Now that would be all for our podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.